because I got some stuff that's grinding my gears. My gears are indeed grinding. Yeah, got my gears are grinding. Yeah, some stuff on here that we need to talk about. This has been bothering me for a couple of weeks. For a couple of weeks. What's up, Fly Great Streak? It's been bothering me for a couple of weeks, and we got to talk about it because nobody else is talking about it. They scared to talk about it, but we gonna talk about it. They scared to talk about it. You know, everybody's scared of being canceled and all of that stuff. I haven't left Ducey's advocate. I haven't left. I newborn. So, it's important to spend time with your little one, my little girl, my little princess. Yeah, I had the COVID for a little bit. I'm glad that I can help a little bit. Hey, that stuff's scary, man. The COVID is scary. So if I helped a little bit, just kind of helping you through it, that's good. Because that stuff's scary, man. Seeing that, wondering if you're going to make it to the next day, scared to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You're scared to go to sleep because you might not wake up. So we got 100 people in here. I'm just going to get to it. I want to talk about the guy. I think he's from the New York Times, right? He wrote a big article, a lot of words, right? Wrote a lot of words about Pepe Le Pew. You know, if you my age and Looney Tunes, right? You know Pepe Le Pew, right? He's the skunk of the Looney Tunes with Bugs Bunny and all of that good stuff, right? And if you watch it, you know Pepe. He's always trying to get this cat that he thought was a skunk, right? He's always kissing her hand and kissing her face and being a little aggressive, right? You watch this as a kid, right? Pepe Le Pew. My guy wrote 1,000 words on this, 2,000 words on Pepe Le Pew. And said Pepe Le Pew is the reason that people are rapists now. Pepe Le Pew is the reason that Kellen Winslow is out here raping people, right? 1,000 words on this. Now, let me just say this right quick. Yeah, you can't do Pepe Le Pew in 2021, right? That's understandable. There's a lot of stuff you can't do in 2021. My favorite stand-up is Eddie Murphy Raw, right? 1987. If Eddie Murphy Raw came out in 2021, there would be no Eddie Murphy, right? So I understand you can't do things in 2021 that you could do in 1960, 70, 80, 90, whatever. You can't do them. I get that, right? But here's my real problem that I got. You work for the New York Times. You can write about anything that you want that's going on in our country right now, like real stuff. You can write about the Vegas PD lying about a Black Lives Matter activist pointing a gun at them, but then the videotape shows them shooting him in the back. You can write about a teenage Black kid being forced to drink urine by his white classmates and the school not doing nothing about it. You can write about how in Georgia and Texas and all these other states, they're trying to restrict the voter laws. That's my dog, by the way. Can't stop him. You restrict the voter laws so they can't vote. They don't want Black people to vote because that's the issue. You can write about how a Black man has spent 26 years in prison for a murder he didn't commit, but the Missouri Supreme Court won't give him a new trial, even though the witnesses lied, the police, they got evidence, the police covered it up. His alibi is airtight, right? You work for the New York Times. You can write about any of these things, right? But you chose to write about a cartoon skunk. Let's think about that for a minute. The people at Hasbro, just chilling back. There's a lot of things that you can do for Black people, for poor people, for homeless people, for women, for disenfranchised people. You sit in your office and say, you know something? You know what we're going to do today? We're going to make Mr. Potato Head not a Mr. anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying here, Red Cup? Do people really understand what's happening here? This is a problem, people. Our priorities are pointed in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? The skunk is not the problem. This potato head is not the problem. Ken and Barbie are not problems. Okay? We have real problems. We have real problems. We have a pandemic that disproportionately goes after Black people because we don't have the funds to take care of ourselves, or more poor people are essential workers, so they have to be more exposed to this. That's more important than Pepe Le Pew is in Space Jam 2 with LeBron. It's a skunk. It was 20 years, 30, 40 years ago. Nobody woke up a week ago and was like, man, Pepe Le Pew, that's a problem. That's the reason Kellen Winslow did all of this stuff. It's the skunk's fault. It's the cartoon fault. Do you know how much stuff, if you just went back in time, you could write these long soliloquies about? You could write. Have you ever watched the movie from the 80s? Have you watched the WWE and the WCW from the Attitude Era and the NWA era? This is how life works. People change. Things change. You don't write 5,000 word pieces about a skunk when every other day I see police brutality. I see blatant racism. I see the Papa John's man saying it took him 20 months to stop saying nigger. We have a bigger problem here than Looney Tunes, right? What's next? You know what the next thing is going to be? They're going to talk about the Smurfs. You know the Smurfs? Yeah, you know the Smurfs, right? The Smurfs, where they have 100 men Smurfs and one lady. You know, and the big Smurf is named Papa Smurf. It's the Smurfs that's coming next. I'm just letting you know it's the Smurfs that's coming next. The Smurfs gonna get out of here. He-Man can't be He-Man, right? You can't be He-Man. Was it a Black man that wrote it? I don't know. Yeah, they coming after Smurfette next. You can't be He-Man, right? That's not gonna fly. You know, that's not gonna fly. You know, no He-Man, no Smurfette. I mean, they already Tom and Jerry. You know, you can't get away with any of this stuff because people care more about cartoons, right, than they do about real life. And that does make it worse. That's a strange thing to me. I got Marvel stuff back here, but I'm not thinking, you know, maybe WandaVision, maybe Wanda should have did this, or Captain America should did. It's a TV show. It's a movie. It's a comedy special. Comedians make jokes. You can't even be a comedian no more. Remember they tried to get Dave Chappelle out there? Dave Chappelle came back and he did what comedians do. He made jokes about people and races and genders because that's what comedians do. And everybody said they hated Dave Chappelle, right? And Dave Chappelle did another special where he said, okay, I won't talk about all those people. I just do some straight comedy. And people was like, yeah, it was okay. Then Dave Chappelle said, screw it. I'm going back to being who I am because I'm a comedian. That's what comedians do. I was watching the Coming to America sequel, right? Watch Coming to America. See, they couldn't tell the jokes. It wasn't bad. It was pretty good. But they couldn't tell the jokes they told in 1988. So it couldn't be as funny. Because you can't be funny because you don't want to offend anybody. You can't watch a skunk because you don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to offend anybody because it's Mr. Potato Head or Mrs. Potato Head. And potatoes are gender neutral or whatever it may be. I have no problem with all of the stuff. It's where you are concentrating your energy in. It's symbolism. Like, I hate symbolism without any. I was watching the NBA All-Star game, right? And that was all symbolism, right? Symbolism and money. Here's some money. Here's some symbolism. Let's not talk about how we probably shouldn't be having a game. But one part of the NBA All-Star game, I saw Chris Paul said that he was doing one of them Harvard weekend classes where you get a Harvard degree in a week. And he realized, he said, why don't they ever have these classes, with Harvard professors at HBCUs? And he got with the teacher and they started having classes at the HBCUs. That's actionable items. That's better than just putting, some murals on the court. That's better than just handing people money. People think you hand somebody money that actually helps the problem. Sometimes it does, but really not really. Let me tell you why. Because how is that money being allocated after you hand it away? How are you helping these kids? How are you helping these Black people on a real level, right? What's more important? $250,000 that get kind of whittled around to, or actually getting someone to get in these universities and help these kids? It's a lot of money. It's a lot of symbolism, but it's not a lot of actionable items. Looks like the NFL. Oh, you put in racism in the back of an end zone. What does that even mean? What is that fixing? What is that changing? I got end racism on the back of my helmet. That's nice. I would like to end racism as well. What are you actually doing to end racism? What are you actually doing to fix things? And you can't just have money. You can't just have the weekend going through puzzles and stuff at the Super Bowl. What are you actually doing? How are you actually helping? And all of us can help. Some of us can't help 1,000 people or 10,000 people. Maybe we can help one person, right? People care more about the rural's racism than they do with the racism at home. You're upset what's happening to Meghan Markle and her kid when that's happening right on your block every day. Happening in your county every day, in your city every day. But what's trending is Pepe Le Pew, a damn cartoon skunk. You know what I'm saying? Also, they think we're stupid. And that's another thing that bothers me. They think we're freaking idiots, right? Okay? They think we're dumb. They think Black people are dumb. And I'll tell you why they think Black people are dumb. They think we can't separate fiction from reality, right? You notice how everything that was rap music's fault. It was the violent movie's fault, right? It was the music's fault. It was the TV's fault. Everything, they don't think we're stupid. Like, listen, I grew up on, the dog's acting out of control. I grew up on NWA, right? I grew up on the Ghetto Boys, on the Chronic, on Wu-Tang Clan. I grew up on all that. I grew up on Eddie Murphy and Chris Rock and all of that stuff. I grew up playing Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty. I grew up on all that stuff. I know if I'm playing Grand Theft Auto and I'm riding in the car, right, and I jump out and shoot 7 people, I know that I can't actually do that in real life, right? If I'm watching Boys in the Hood, that doesn't make me want to go out there and stuff. You see the ending of Boys to the Hood? It's not a happy ending. You watch Juice, that's not a happy ending. They think we're stupid. They think we're dumb. That we can't separate fact from fiction. That at 7, 8 years old, I can't realize that it's a cartoon. That when I'm an adult, I can realize, hey, that was a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? That was Bugs Bunny. That was Daffy Duck. You know, bunnies don't talk. Skunks are not walking around kissing cats. Like, they think we're dumb. They think mentally we're slow. That we can't separate fact from fiction. Now, I never hear them say that when the white boys are out here doing mass shootings. They never say, man, it was Call of Duty. They just say they came from a broken home or something. It's insulting to me that you think that you have to write 5,000 words on a cartoon skunk because you feel like people can't actually figure out that it's a cartoon, that stuff that you shouldn't be doing. Like, if I watch The Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, do you think I'm going to go out there and I'm going to just try to dive off a cliff? You know, I'm going to drop an anvil. Like, you know, they drop anvils. Like, I'm going to drop an anvil on somebody's head. They think we're stupid. Do you think because I have no beef with Mr. Potato Head or Mrs. Potato Head that means I'm going to, you know, commit criminal crimes? Like, you know what I'm saying? I am a graduate of the Ohio State University. That's insulting to me. They think black people are simple-minded, that you can just influence us. And you know why they think that? It's because they have been trying to brainwash us, or have been brainwashing us, since the times that we came over here. You see what I'm saying? They've been brainwashing us. Think about it. Just think about it. What do they say? It's the United States of America. We've never been united. You can't unite it if you have slaves. The land of the free, home of the brave. When has this land ever been free to us? You know? Oh, the United States is the great democracy. You sure about that? You sure about that? See, they've been brainwashing us for years. So they just think that we're easily brainwashed. And this is what they do. What they do is they try to distract you from what's going on, what's really going on. They want to distract you with Mr. Potato Head. They want to distract you with Pepe Le Pew. And then they don't want you to think about what's really going on. They don't want you to think why, when you go to your bank and you're trying to get a mortgage, that your interest rate is 5 times higher than the white couple that just went into the bank, even though you may make more money and have better credit. They want you to think about a skunk, though. That's right, Marcus. You let them know. They want you to think about a skunk. That's what they want you trending. They don't want to see you trending us bombing people, right? For no, just out there bombing. You see how they slid that in? We out there just bombing countries. But what's trending is Pepe Le Pew. What's happening? What's really going on here? You see how they slide that in? You see how they talk? I forget what the one politician said. He said, man, if we give these poor people $1,500, man, they may pull themselves up. We don't want that. There's no positive in poor people pulling themselves up. If we get them actually money to take care of themselves, they may actually, do some positive things with their lives. We don't want that. Let's talk about this skunk that nobody's talked about for 20 years. They trying to get rid of Speedy Gonzalez. My wife is half Mexican. I said, hey, did your people have any problems with Speedy Gonzalez? She's like, no, we thought he was hilarious. They don't have no issue with it. But they trying to blind us. And I'm not trying to go all Dr. Umar on you. I'm just saying, I just want you to pay attention to what's happening here. How many times did the NBA say HBCU last night? Like, you can just give the money, right? You can just say, hey, we're giving the money to the HBCUs. We're giving the scholarships. All right, we're all good. They purposely said it 1,700 times to get in your brain, HBCU, 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 HBCU. So you don't think about, man, they really having an all-star game during the pandemic where two of the players can't even play because they got contact tracing, all because they're trying to get this money from these TV contracts, and they know it's less money if they don't have an all-star game. So they're giving what, $1 million, right, to the HBCUs, but they probably made 10, 15, 20, 30, $40 million just by having an all-star game. Just by having an all-star game. But they keep saying HBCU, HBCU. And look, there's a reason that they chose a black, you know what I'm saying? They chose a black organization because they feel like then black people won't push back on what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So if we make it about HBCUs, then we won't get the pushback, even though the majority of our players are black. You know, so we just gonna keep saying HBCUs. We're gonna have these Beats by Dre designed by HBCUs, but they still cost you $200. Don't matter if you go to an HBCU or not. You still paying $200 for the Beats by Dre. You see what I'm saying? I understand why. I just want people to understand why. I want HBCUs to be great as well. But you don't have to not to force it, right? Like my man Deontay said, you don't have to force it. Just say, hey, we're giving some money to the HBCUs. We're gonna try to help them out. But here's my question: the day after the All-Star game, do you care about the HBCUs anymore? Are we gonna ever hear about HBCUs in the playoffs, up to the playoffs, the NBA Finals? Are we going to hear it ever again? Are you going to tell us about the two refs that went to HBCUs? Are we going to get Kamala Harris out there talking with Michael B. Jordan? We ever going to hear it again? You tell me, are we ever going to hear it again? Probably not. Probably not. Are you still going to draft the players from Duke and UNC first? Probably. It's a distraction. It's just a distraction. It bothers me because we're worried about the wrong things. We're worried about the wrong thing. There's so much pandering, no real action. And people are hyping up the panderers and not actually doing any action. Like, let me give you an example of what I mean. Now, I have nothing against Emmanuel Ocho or H.O., whatever his name is, right? But I was disappointed in this. This is what I was disappointed in. You got a best-selling book that says Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. You got Oprah on your side, right? You're doing The Bachelor. You're big time. You got a big voice, crossover voice, right? Your show does a segment that's based off Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks, okay? You know the segment is suspect. You know it because you don't defend it. You're not at Whitlock level. You're not defending it. You know the content that's being put on TV is not right. It's not good for Black people. It's stereotypes. It's bad. It's not good television for us. It's something that white people can laugh at Black people about. You know this. It's brought to your attention. And what did you say? I'm just a talent. I don't make up the segments. Yeah, I talk to somebody else. I'm just a talent. You can't say that you're the person that has uncomfortable conversations, but then when it comes to you that you probably need to have an uncomfortable conversations with your producer, Fox Sports, FS1, you say, I'm just a talent. I understand you don't want to mess up your bachelor money. I don't want anybody to mess up their bachelor money. I'm always pro-Black. Get in where you fit in. Take these fools for all they worth. Oh, Shannon Sharp gets $10 million. Doesn't bother me that Stephen A. Smith has 35 shows. Get your money, because they got it. But you just a talent? Mr. Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man? Come on, dog. This is when you get to that level, when you got that when you got that power. This is when you need to use it. Not when it's quote unquote comfortable. You can sit down, you can plot out the questions, you can do all of this stuff. It's when it's uncomfortable. Your whole thing is uncomfortability. I'm just a talent. Come on, dog. We expect more. And that's the issue that we have. I tried to silence me. But I'm still going to say what I got to say. Red cup. There's still not too many people out there like me that are totally independent. They can say things like this and not have to worry about certain repercussions. Even though they don't like hearing me say it, but it's the truth. And it's my job to tell you guys the truth. That's what I do. I wish I could do it more. Like I say, a lot of stuff going on. Family always comes first. Family always should come first. But this has been bugging me for a minute. Like I said, I understand there's 2021. You can't do certain things. I wouldn't expect Pepe Le Pew to get a show in 2021. I understand that, right? But in 2021, with all this stuff that's going on against poor people, black people, homeless people, minority people, all this stuff that's going on, and you work for the New York Times, you can write about anything you want. You write about Pepe Le Pew in 2021? And that's trending number one with all the stuff that we got going on in this country. That's all the stuff that it got going on in this country. You want to talk about Pepe Le Pew. You want to announce Mr. Potato Head. We've been brainwashed, man. Red cup. Well, that's all I got. That's all I got. I don't know what else to say. Like I said, I try to get in, these things when I can, but some stuff is just like, it messes with your mental health, to be honest with you. It messes with your mental health. Yeah, you're right, Two Form Jones. Here's the thing about that. Then I get out you guys, right? Because I'm not one to talk for 5 hours and all that stuff. Here's the thing about if you're offended. I never tell someone what they should or shouldn't be offended by, right? That's a personal choice, right? But let me give you an example of just how this stuff is just out of control, right? Let me find it. It was something that was let me read this. This was the tweet, okay? It was about WandaVision. Now remember, superhero movies, okay? We talked about stuff that's not real, witches and all of this stuff, right? This is an actual tweet from a person, a real life person, okay? Says, I'll read it to you. Says, non-spoiler WandaVision topic. Why is it that between Wanda and Dark Phoenix in X-Men, whenever a woman is the most powerful, it means they're also really dangerous and can cause the end of the world? This never seems to happen with male characters. Misogyny much. Now, first off, I'm going to assume this person has never read a comic book in their life. Almost every male supervillain are a danger to themselves and can, destroy the universe. I mean, what Thanos just destroyed the universe, right? Dr. Doom, all of these other people, whoever, the Green Goblin, Doc Ock, the Joker. Yeah, Joker is no danger to himself and other people. You know what I'm saying? Doctor Strange. All misogyny much? Because of the Dark Phoenix? Because Wanda has, magic powers as a witch? Which one is it? If the women aren't superpowered, then it's a problem. Now the problem is they're too superpowered, and it's a problem. That's what I'm talking about when I say it's one thing to be offended, right? It's another thing just to go looking for something to be offended by in every single thing, right? Especially in stuff that has no bearing on the world. Like WandaVision, nice show. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Thought the ending was a little iffy. Doesn't matter. The point is, it's a TV show. It's done. I don't moved on. Doesn't matter to me. That has nothing to do with what's going to happen tomorrow, right? My bills are still coming in. I still got real life problems that I have to deal with. WandaVision is not solving that. Nothing in WandaVision is going to make me act any differently than I did yesterday than I will today. It's just a TV show about witches and having kids with guys that are made out of aluminum. That has nothing to do with real life, right? For all I know, somebody probably tweeting like, is something wrong with Vision, having sex because he's aluminum. For all I know, I'm sure there is. We used to have tougher skin. It's not even about having tougher skin, it's having common sense. It's common sense. So when you say everybody's easily offended, it's more like common sense. Like, I'm offended when I watch a cop shoot a black person in the back and get away with it. That's offensive to me. I'm offended when I see a kid have to drink urine because his white friends are doing it. When kids get bullied. I'm offended when Andy Reid's son, right, runs. Where is that 5,000 word story? Seems like I'm the one that's still the only one that's writing about Andy Reid's son, right, running over that little black girl, and she has brain damage, and he still hasn't been charged with a crime. I'm the only one that writes about that. I'm the only one that gives updates on that. Why is that? That's what I'm offended by. I'm not offended by how powerful or non-powerful Dark Phoenix was. You know what I'm saying? It's not that you can't be offended. It's what you're offended by Pepe Le Pew. Okay. You're offended by a 60-year-old cartoon? I'm pretty sure any cartoon that you watch as an adult, you kind of raise your eyebrows to. But that's what you're offended by? I'm offended by real stuff. I'm offended by worrying if I go try to get a loan for a new house that I'm going to provide my family in, and I'm offended by having to be worried if I'm going to be treated exactly the same as if I was white. I'm worried and offended if I walk down the street and the cops pull me over, am I going to get shot? These are the things I'm offended by. I'm not offended by a skunk. I'm not offended by Speedy Gonzalez, okay? I'm not offended by a comedian. His job is to tell comedy, right? Not offended by that. That's what comedians do. Here's the thing. Here's 99% of this stuff could be you wouldn't be offended by if you didn't watch, right? Like, if you're offended by a comedian, don't watch the comedy special. You're offended by a movie, don't watch the movie. You're offended by a TV show, don't watch the TV show. You're offended by somebody, a record, a rapper, a singer, don't listen to their music. That ends it all. You don't like, here's the people say, I hate Fox News, I hate Fox. Why are you watching? The ratings are coming from somewhere. I hate this. I hate ESPN. I hate First Take. What are you watching for? I've never watched anything, read anything, got any like. I tell people that all the time. What do you watch? I watch what I like. People say, why are you not watching this? I don't want to. It's as simple as that. If I don't like somebody, I'm not going to watch them. I'm definitely not going to talk about them 24/7 either. I hate Piers Morgan. Why are you watching them? I hate Oprah. Why are you watching them? I hate the royal family. Why are you watching the interview? I hate Pepe Le Pew. Don't watch all Looney Tunes cartoons. Pretty simple. I think WandaVision, don't watch it. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, that you don't want to be offended by. But here's the thing. Unfortunately, I can't just say, I just don't want to deal with the cops. Or I don't want to deal with the justice system. Or I don't want to deal with the bank. Or I don't want to deal with, politics. I don't want to deal. You can't not deal with that because that has a problem with your livelihood. I can't say I don't want to pay attention to the presidential election because that literally could have effect on me. I can't say I don't want to pay attention to the mayor or the governor of a state that I live in or a city that I live in because they can have a direct effect on me. But Pepe Le Pew, I have total control over Pepe. I have total control over what comes on my TV, what comes in my ear, what I read. I have total control over that. You know, you and your wife probably got two different things that you watch, right? She watches this, I watch that. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be offended. You just don't have to pay attention to it. People are saying, hey, did you see what such and such? No, I didn't see it. You know why? Because I'm not paying attention. That's how you stay not offended. That's why people say, how can somebody be such and such on social media? How such and such? You don't have to be on anything. If you don't like Facebook, you don't have to be on Facebook. You don't like Instagram, you don't have to be on Instagram. Just take the app off your phone. People say, I hate this app. What are you on it for? I hate this, I hate that. I hate BSO. What are you reading for? I tell people this all the time. 100% factual. And I know because I watch my numbers every single day. Anytime I do a story and people say they hate the story, right? They cancel BSO. I'm this, I'm that, I'm a terrible person. That story is always the best story of the day, bar none. It makes me the most money. It gets the most traffic, the most attention, the most social shares every single time. Every single time. Every time I'm getting sued and LeBron is taking my site, all this, every time it's the most popular story of the day. Every time somebody says, I don't know why you guys click on this. I don't know why nobody's this. I don't know why you still follow him. I don't know. Every single time. It's always the best story. Now I write a story that's about social injustice and cops doing all of this. And nobody talk about it. Nobody talk about that. But if I do a story about, you know, girls getting stranded in Atlanta and sleeping on U-Hauls, I had 500,000 views on that. You know what I'm saying? If I just focused on that, right? Honestly, this is true. This is true shit. If I just focused on it, if I stopped caring literally about us as a race, and trust me, I thought about it. I'm not even lying to you. Because some of the things that was done to me, I thought about it. If I just did stories on twerking and girls living in U-Hauls and who's in the DMs and all that, if I eliminated everything else, the recaps, the sports, the social justice, all of this other stuff, I just move that aside and fill that in with the other stuff, I'll make 5 times more money than I do right now. At least 5. At least 5. If I just shrank out of this, meaning if I just took my face out of the equation and just was like Vlad TV, no offense to them or anything. If I became a faceless entity like Vlad TV or Media Takeout, or even Bossip to an extent, right? If you become a faceless entity that people can't attack, then you can just post whatever you want. And then you just reap all the money. You see what I'm saying? Because you're faceless. If I went faceless, I didn't stand up. If I didn't say, I wrote this, I did this. If you got a problem, you come to me. If I just hid behind everything and just put people just care about the content. If I just put out the worst possible content because I knew that's what people was going to read, you would never know who I was, and I'll just sit back and collect the checks. Collect the checks. There's a lot of sites that do that. You couldn't tell me one person that worked at Bossip. You can't tell me one person that works at Total Pro Sports. You can't tell me who writes the stories for Media Takeout. When's the last time you actually seen Vlad TV in front of a camera? You don't know those people. So if they mess up, if they write something that people don't like, their entity may get attacked, but they sitting in the back sipping lemonade and cashing the checks. If I do something people don't like, they're coming after me personally. Me, my wife, my friends, my kids. They're coming after me because I've associated, because I stand up. I'm not that type of guy. I'm not the type of guy that's going to write something and then run from the responsibility of it. I never been like that. Some people are cool with that. I'm not saying everybody got their own way of doing things. But my thing is, if you write about it, you talk about it, you got to stand up to it. I've always said I ain't ran from anything. You know, that's the thing. People don't want to hear the truth. I mean, I know why they do it. Like I said, it's all brainwashing. They brainwash you. They brainwash you into trying to take down your own people, right? I was getting a little too popular. You know what I'm saying? A little too big of a voice. They couldn't have that. You know, so they brainwash your own people to try to take you down. You see what I'm saying? They try to take your own people down. See, that's the difference when it's a black man doing something that say like Barstool Sports. Can't take him down because white people, even though some white people are terrible people, but look how they do Trump. They stick together no matter what. The Trump people stick together no matter what. It may be their only quality. We don't stick together. We throw each other under the bus. We attack each other, even if we're helping each other. We don't sit there and say, you know something? Right now, this person is helping us as a whole. This person is helping our people. This person is helping our cause. This person has the ability to say things and do things that other people can't say or do because they work for ESPN, they work for Fox, they work for SI. They can't say it. This guy can say it. But we just gonna, personally, we just gonna throw him under the bus anyway because we don't like X story. We don't act like this. We don't act like how he handled certain things this way and that way. And then when something goes down and they're like, well, why is there no media people to talk about this? Well, ask yourself that question. We, as a people, sometimes don't like success. It's the brainwashing. Like you see somebody become just think about like Drake, right? I don't care if you like Drake music or not. That's not really my point that I'm making, right? Why would you, as a person, it's just Drake. Why do you have such strong feelings for just a guy? Just Drake. You know what I'm saying? We don't like when people become too successful. For whatever reason, our own people, maybe because, like I said, we've been brainwashed that it's that whole, if you make it, you got to stay in the hood mentality. Like, why, when white people make it, they move to a nicer house, a nicer neighborhood, a nicer situation. Nobody says anything about that. If a white family, if it was a kid that was in a white family and he was middle class, right? He was middle class growing up in the 50s. But, he worked hard. He got him a nice job. You know what I'm saying? He worked to get to upper class. No one says, hey, you should go back to middle class where your parents were at. Like, nobody thinks like that of us. Like, I worked hard to get to certain things. I remember they said something about me that really kind of pissed me off. They said that they were mad because I had moved to California. That I moved from St. Louis, Missouri, in the hood to California and was staying by the beach. They was upset about that. They were angry that I was able to move locations to try to better my business and myself. Just think about that. Upset about trying to better yourself so I can possibly help other people. Reason I moved wasn't just for me, help other people. Then I got here, and I was helping all these people. That was too much for them. I was doing too good of work. You see what I'm saying? We're fighting a lot of battles here, right? We're fighting the battle against the cops. We're fighting the battle against the justice system, right? We're fighting the battle against the politicians who make the laws, right? We're fighting the educational system, which is not for us. The financial system, which is not for us. Fighting all these battles, right? Then on top of fighting all these battles against people that don't want us to rise up, we fight ourselves all the time. That's why, even when, if you notice, and I had to learn this, not something that I figured out overnight. Even when people, I had to get to a point where even when people attack me, I didn't attack them back if they look like me, because that's just entertainment for the people. They're like, man, we are already doing all this stuff to hold them back, and look at them arguing with themselves too, just making it hard on them. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm like, okay, if you feel a certain way, you feel a certain way. There's nothing I can do about it. All I can do is keep moving, keep going. That's all I can do. But we got all of this stuff that's against us, and then we're against each other. You know, we don't appreciate people that really have our best interest at heart. It's a sad state. It's a sad state. And now there are certain people that want to speak out, but they're scared. Because if you see how quick stuff can change. You know what I'm saying? You can be working at a job for 10, 15 years. You say the wrong, and I'm talking about black people. You say the wrong tweet about something, you give your opinion. That's it. It's over. I got lucky. I own my business. So in the grand scheme of things, they couldn't take from me because I own the business. But if I didn't own the business, they'd have taken everything that I had worked for. So people are scared to say what they really feel. You'll be surprised how many DMs I get, just random ones, saying how they feel about X, Y, and Z. They can't say it. Not that there's anything wrong with the opinion, it's just an opinion. But you can't say the wrong thing. So the best thing is just not say anything. That's how scared people are right now. They're totally frightened just about saying the wrong stuff. It's a crazy situation, man. It's a crazy situation. All right. So I get out of here. That was a good chat, though. It was a very good chat. Go back if you haven't seen it from the beginning. You can see everything that we talked about. But just remember, what's more important, cops shooting black people in the back or skunk? And I'll be honest with you, if Pepe Le Pew was a white skunk, not a black skunk, may have a totally different article that was written.